he must admit that on those 3 occasions, he didn't even come close to winning.
All right. That children are championing the cause against a debased Pact shows how the society has sunk and wallowed in vices. Students in Plateau State took to the streets in Jos, the state capital, to protest against the proposed treaty signing on legalization of lesbianism, gay marriage, bisexual and transgender, LGBT in Nigeria. The protesting students said the treaty is an abomination and unacceptable to the 2 major religions in the country. According to them, the treaty could ruin their future if endorsed, urging the federal government not to sign it. Let's share the story by TVC News, Funam Joshua with you.
These are students from a few primary and secondary schools in Jos, the Plateau State capital. They are out in their numbers in protest against an alleged attempt to inculcate LGBTQ ideals in the Nigerian education curriculum. The students told the government not to succumb to the European Union's intimidation and sign the lesbianism, gay marriage, bisexual and transgender agreement.
I stand today as an African female student to say that the agreements between the European Union and the African Caribbean Pacific Group of States is the highest level of wickedness. This is destruction to our sexuality and our future. This is the highest level of wickedness that it can do to us. Our leaders are only trying to sell us out. I am a girl. God created me to be a girl, not to be a boy. He already knew that I was going to be a girl right from creation. So there's nobody that can come and tell me that I am trapped in the wrong body. This is wickedness. It is very wicked. It is not normal. This is bringing confused ideas to confuse children, to confuse we at our own age. This is not good at all. It is very, very bad. We say no to LGBTQ and we say no to their agreements.
The LGBTQ society are a group of confused people. They do not have the knowledge that we in Africa have, and then they have come with their false, fake ideologies to try to convince us to change our way of life and to derail us from where we have been moving. These guys don't understand what we do here. They don't know our morals, they don't know our standards, they don't know the godly principles that we have grown up with, and then they come to us, enforce laws on us, and expect us to accept it. Who are we? This is a democratic system, and then the will of the people, the interest of the people is put first.
I am an African female. I can't just go and just change myself like that. I was created. God knew me before I was born. I cannot just go and just say I'm a boy. Am I okay?
A coalition of civil society organizations on their part wants the federal government to stay far from the partnership agreement. The group, led by an educationist, Ekaiti Etang, urged countries' parliaments and legislatures to avoid ratifying the deceptive treaty.
The agreement, the European nation and the ACP, African, Caribbean and Pacific nations, and because there's a subtlety in that agreement that introduces LGBT ideology. And I want to know that that is war against a nation. It's war against our family. It's war against the children's destiny. And schools should rise up. Parents should rise up. Well-meaning Nigerians rise up. We have suffered enough. Should we add this curse? This is a curse on us. We are suffering. Should we go and add something like this to confuse our children? We are strong with drugs, we are strong with other things. We're going to add this one?
In the aftermath of the agreement, the Nigerian government issued a press release making it public that they were not present at the Samoa Agreement on November 15. The agreement covers 6 key priorities: human rights, democracy and governance, peace and security, human and social development, and climate change. Parents also share their views on this controversial issue, which seems to have also divided opinions.
As a parent, I can't imagine my children, my 2-year-old daughter, being taught how to have sex. You know, it's sick, it's crazy. They want to destroy the society, they want to destroy the moral fabric of our society, and we say no to it. We don't accept it and we don't want it. God has given us wisdom on how to raise our children as parents, and so I don't need anybody coming to tell me how to raise my own children.
If we are to accept this as a nation and include it in our academic curriculum,
And then teachers will start teaching our children to embrace different sexual orientation. If you don't feel like you're a girl, you can turn yourself to a boy. If you don't feel attracted to girls as a girl, if you don't feel attracted to boys as a girl, you can relate with girls. I mean, it doesn't make sense, and I don't know what the society will be turning into.
This system, they believe, is alien to the African culture. From Joshua, TVC News, Jos.
Exactly this kind of procession I saw in South Africa, negative. People coming out to declare that I'm bi, I'm bi. You know, I saw it that footage. So Nigeria, South Africa, our students coming out and say, "This is who we are."
I mean, it makes sense to reject this thing. It's alien to our culture. We were not brought up to believe that, oh, God did not know what he was doing. And these individuals, the ridiculous thing is that they know that that relationship cannot cause them to procreate. They cannot raise, they cannot give birth to children of their own. They go and adopt children and then poison the minds of those children so that they too can be thinking like them. I mean, people, Nigerians must reject this sort of thing. It shouldn't happen. I pray it doesn't happen in my generation, because God, in creating man and woman, knew what he was doing. So, and you cannot just suddenly declare that, okay, I am this, I am a woman, when you are not carrying the genitals of a woman. No, it's beyond that. So I'm so impressed by these young children. Look at the excellent English that they are speaking. You know that they are products of good home and etiquettical breeding, the kind of English that I saw them speak. So I'm happy, and it's a good thing that Nigeria said it did not take part in that meeting. They should not even attempt it.
Omega, but what the most important part now is that we have a kind of surge in the number of people that are into homosexualism and lesbianism in this country.
Yeah, you know, I said
They're practicing it.
I said earlier that you cannot wish away, you know, the fact that you have people with extreme views, extreme tendencies, you know. So that these things are happening, you know, yes, you know, erosion of values and, you know, the encroachment, you know, by foreign influences. So, you know, people want to just try to adapt to foreign influences. But to me, it's wrong, because, you see, the basic thing is that the idea that these things can be projected to to nations in the southern hemisphere because they are largely poor. That to me is even really very offensive, because I know all these things have been on even since when Nigeria was under military rule. You know, these ACP, EU ACP agreements, the way they are couched is such that, you see, it's even an affront on the constitutions of those countries. So it's as if maybe the Nigerian constitution doesn't even exist. And to the extent that foreigners can come and try to impose their own will on Nigerians, yes, even in defiance of our constitution, should not even be accepted in the first place. Because Nigeria's sovereignty rests on the constitution. It's the constitution that validates our existence as a sovereign nation. So if anybody suggests anything that can tamper with the sovereignty of Nigeria, who says that in the next 10 years they will not cook up something else to even deny the existence of Nigeria? And then the other thing is that they dangle aid at certain nations that they believe are largely poor. But let me tell you, part of this aid is money stolen from these countries. Stolen from these countries by politicians. Money stolen from these countries by their leaders. And then you use the money, you invest the money in your economies, and then you just take a bit of it and send to these countries. You say you are sending aid. I think we need to begin to rethink a lot of these things, because these tests for aid, do we really need aid? Can't we increase our capacity in these areas that these people that these people pretend that they are giving us aid. We can.
All right, moving on now. When justice is well served in a matter, it's not just a form